So hi, Sarah. Thanks so much for talking with Culturess. We're so excited to have you on for an interview today. I think, like, obviously everyone knows your face from the most popular app right now, HQ. Everyone plays it. We're big fans of it right here in our office. I know it's so much fun. Like, I actually wasn't a big fan of it. Not a big fan, but like I didn't play it as much until I started like working at this office. But we play it every single day in the afternoon. So we're huge, huge fans.
So you guys have one of those group get-together experiences where you try to help each other?
We have awesome. We have a few champs. We've had a few wins. We didn't win during the big one with The Rock, though. We were so close.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I think like we're getting closer and closer now each time. We definitely have a few trivia whizzes here in the office, so that's great. And I'm sure for you, it's been a really fun experience, you know, working with the quiz daddy himself, Scott. But I know you've obviously had some projects that you've done before you got involved with HQ, and I'd love to hear about those, like things that you were doing as an actress before you came on the game.
Yeah, sure. So I've been in New York like 14 years at this point. I had my first professional gig when I was still in high school, though. I'm from suburban Philadelphia, and I was scouted from my high school to be in the Broadway production of Les Miserables. Oh, cool. And that kind of motivated me to do acting in New York. So I went to NYU. I studied at Tisch. And then since I've, you know, run the gamut of everything like most actors do. So I think did some background work in Sex and the City, the movie, just to see what it was like to be on set. I got my SAG eligibility working on the Gossip Girl set for a week. So if you're a Gossip Girl fan, I was in a few episodes of Gossip Girl as a day player. And then notable gigs since then, I guess, would be, oh, that's my cat behind me, by the way.
Hi.
She's making an appearance. Anyway, some notable gigs like since then, let's see, I kind of got into hosting, doing some red carpet interviews at film festivals like Tribeca and New York Film Festival for a company called Indie Zone. And then I hosted a live streaming show for a company called Little Things, which sadly is no more, but I used to host a show 5 nights a week for them that was kind of like a viral video countdown every night. So that gave me my first taste of what it was like to have the live streaming experience. And then as an actor, I've done a lot of commercial work. I currently have 2 commercials running right now that you may catch. One is for Blue Buffalo pet food, and the other one is for Discover. And I've done my fair share of short films, of web series, a little bit of theater while I was still in college, not so much anymore. And then most recently, I had a recurring role on The Bold and the Beautiful, and I was a supporting role in a new film called Clinton Road with Ice-T and Vincent Pastore from The Sopranos that will be out sometime this year.
That's an incredible resume so far, and I feel like for those who are just getting to know you on HQ and seeing your face every day through something like an app, it's amazing to see that you've worked on all of these projects as well. Something that we did want to ask you about, because I think like we can't not ask it, because it was one of those incredible moments, I think, for anyone, was to go viral. I saw that you were on the Ellen show for this, this infomercial that, I mean, watching it myself, I thought it was a parody, but it seems it was actually real, the Shiny Heiny infomercial. Can you tell us what it was, like that whole experience of both like just doing the project, but then seeing like all of the reactions that you got, and maybe even opportunities that you had from going viral after that?
Yeah, oh my, I can't believe I just forgot to mention that. That was a life-changing experience. So I, as an actor, I freelance with, you know, and have freelanced with various managers and agents, but I do a lot of self-submitting. And actually HQ I booked from a self-submission. So to anybody out there who thinks they need an agent or manager, you don't. And similarly, this infomercial was booked through a self-submission. I submitted myself for an infomercial because I was like, I've never done one. Why not? It'd be a fun learning experience. And the product was listed as a cleaning product.
And it was, there was a typo, wasn't there? Like it wasn't shiny hiney originally, like when you read it?
Yeah, so it was misspelled. There were two N's in each word that shouldn't have been there. Should have just been single N's. So it said the shinny hinny. So, you know, they ended up casting from a picture poll. So I went straight to the job, and it wasn't until I was on site to shoot that I realized that it was the My Shiny Hiney, which simply put is a brush to clean your butt. That's what it is. It's a brush.
I mean, it seems like a useful product.
You know, it's funny that they used me as one of their main spokespeople, because it's a product that definitely makes more sense for an older person who has a harder time cleaning that area, or somebody with a disability. But, you know, they wanted a nice smiling face, I suppose.
I mean, you sold it well, and obviously it worked out for you, because not only did it go viral, I mean, you got to go on the Ellen show and talk about it. And what was it like kind of going from an experience like that where everyone, you know, knew you from this viral moment to now working for a viral game like HQ? Like, I'd love to see like what that process was like from going from something like that to gigs you had to get you to HQ. Like, how did you how did you end up being on this amazing game?
So, you know, it's funny when the Ellen thing happened, and that was so incredible. You know, I was bartending. I was setting up my bar, one of my survival jobs, and I get a call from, oh gosh, what is the city that they shoot from? It's in, whatever, it's in LA, but it's, I can't think of it right now. But anyway, so I see the incoming call, and they are like, can you potentially fly to LA tomorrow, you know, to be on the Ellen show? And that was just insane. The whole experience was incredible. And when that happened, I was kind of like, this is it. Like, this is my big break. You know, as we like to think with anything that happens, I guess. And it wasn't, I mean, it was amazing. But, you know, in hindsight, like, who's going to look at that and be like, this girl needs to star in my next movie? However, what it served to do was really motivate me to be a go-getter. So I reached out to contacts in the industry, friends that I hadn't spoken to in a while, representation. I was like, what do I do with this amazing opportunity? And I just networked more, and I put myself out there more. I took on, you know, as many projects as I could. I submitted I mean, like I said, I continued to submit myself for things. And that's how I landed HQ. I landed HQ while I was still hosting my show with Little Things. I had there was a casting breakdown. It said they were looking for the host of a streaming trivia app. Similarly to the infomercial, I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I could learn from this. But, you know, it was in the early beta testing stage of HQ. So, I mean, we're talking Scott Rogowski had just signed on to the project as well. Like, he had maybe only been doing a couple weeks worth of games. There were 100 people max that were playing. And I started kind of subbing in as one of the hosts, and I just never stopped.
That's incredible.
So it's just, it's grown in popularity. It's gained a lot of traction, obviously. And we'll see what happens. I mean, it's been an amazing experience.
No, it's incredible, like that story. And I mean, it'd be interesting to know, like, either with the audition or just being a part of this, the game show and everything that it's about. Do you feel that you have to be a bit of a trivia whiz yourself, or do you enjoy kind of like preparing for these? Like, what is even the preparation process other than just like having the questions ahead to go on camera and to ask them? Do you guys ever like become part of the process to figure out what the questions are, or is that like a whole secret operation to figure that out?
Sure. That's a great question. So, and to answer your first question, I am not a trivia whiz, and so often I look at the questions and I'm like, wow, I think I would have gotten up to Q4 on this game. How are people getting to the end? It's amazing. So no, I'm not a trivia whiz. I've gotten better with trivia for sure. I recognize, I don't know, I think like the pattern, there's not a pattern, but I kind of have gotten better with my guessing with my process of elimination. And I've definitely learned a lot of random trivia, which I love. I've become more of a trivia person because of HQ. Now, in terms of the process of what it takes to host, I get there about an hour before each game. I get the questions that we have a team of writers who they've put together these questions. They've put together the order. They've fact-checked things. And usually with each question, they offer me like a suggested fact that I can choose to share or not. So sometimes I'll take that. Sometimes a lot of times I'll add in my own flavor. You know, Scott is definitely, his background is as a stand-up comedian. Mine is as an actress. So I like to keep it relatable. You know, I think I try to make it, I keep things pretty, you know, as I say, short and sweet. We're all there to play trivia. I want everyone to learn. I think, like, I want people to understand what it is they're learning. So if I can relate the material back to something that, you know, the masses are going to get, then that's what I'm there to do. And to make them maybe chuckle with, like, a little bit of a pun or something. But I think for me, relatable humor and accessibility of the questions, and to cheer people on, that's kind of the vibe that I go for.
I think so. And I mean, I think you do a great job of that, because it's definitely, it can be hard at times, especially once you get past like maybe like question 6 or 7. So to have someone like you rooting us on, it's definitely appreciated, coming from someone who isn't a big trivia whiz person herself. And speaking of Scott and like his comedy on the show, it's hilarious, like what he does, like question to question. What is it like working with him, and both on and off the set?
Well, Scott and I have yet to co-host, which hopefully at some point we get to do. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you know, at this point, Scott is the main host of HQ. I'm there to help him out so that he can take on more appearances, get days off, whatever it may be. So I don't work with him per se. He's created this specific HQ culture that I try to feed into. I don't like to rip any of his things off. So that's why you'll never hear me saying Cumero numero uno or get down to nitty gritty or penultimate question. Like these are Scott's things. So I try to leave them to Scott and develop my own voice on the show. But Scott is great. He's a really talented, smart. He's incredibly smart. Half of his references that he makes while he's hosting, I know it's a reference, and I couldn't even tell you what it's a reference to. So he's really good at what he does, and I'm happy that he's found an avenue that, you know, allows him to show off these skills that he's got. And
as for you, I mean, what's the experience been like for you? I mean, like you said, you've been here once it was a beta game, and now you have people winning thousands, hundreds of thousands. I mean, there's amazing prizes out there for everyone. So what has it been like you to be a part of it from the start, and to see how popular it's become now, especially with like the rise in the fandom for it?
Oh man, it's a gift. It's a real gift. I'm really grateful that it's just given me a platform to learn, because I mean, I've never had any experience like this. This is the first of its kind, you know, to go on a live stream in front of millions of people. I've never done that before. It took me a while to find my voice, because at first I thought, you know, maybe Scott was what I was supposed to be like. You know, and that was the way it needed to be. So it's been a real learning experience. I'm really grateful to the fans too. I mean, it's a really, yes, the chat can be a bit vicious at times, but
I guess that's social media at the same time too. If people have a live feed, you'll get a little bit of love and a little bit of snarkiness. But for the most part, there's a ton of fans out there who obviously like come on every day to play this game when we're at work, and we could be doing other things too, but like we love playing it. So there's obviously a big fan base out there that loves to watch you and Scott and the other hosts.
They're amazing, and it's really helped me. Right before I started doing HQ, I had started to create my own content for social media, doing comedy videos and sketches and that sort of thing. And it's given an audience to my platform, and it feels really good, you know, to have people watch you on the show and then come back to your page and watch your videos and cheer you on. So it's like, as much as I'm cheering them on, they're cheering me on too. And, you know, the opportunities that are coming up because of this platform, I mean, I'm very grateful.
And speaking of social media, when we were first looking at your Twitter and kind of just like checking out all the projects that you've been on, we saw something pretty interesting. There was a few photos of you from New Orleans in some very interesting makeup, I'll put it. And yeah. I would love to know if you can maybe give both your fans and us insight into what that project is that you're in New Orleans, because it definitely looks like something us at Culturess would be interested in, because it seems to have some kind of a superhero, like crazy cosplay vibe to it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. So this is another example of something that I submitted myself for. This is a project called Rockabilly Road Trip. It is based on a graphic novel. As we've seen, I guess, kind of trend with The Walking Dead, you know. And so this is someone's baby. They've been working on this for 10 years as writing the story and illustrating it. It's a duo. And they thought that the next logical step was to bring this story to life. So we were down in New Orleans shooting the sizzle, which basically means that we will now take this little teaser of a story and pitch it to various platforms and producers and try to garner some more interest so that we can make the rest of it. But yes, it would probably result in a lot of fun cosplay for audiences if it did get made. My character's name is Patches, and I don't know, she's kind of a mix between Ariel and Maleficent and
There's
Xena.
Definitely that vibe with the red hair going on, so I definitely see that for sure.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The team is very talented, very fun to work with, very creative. And what they've come up with was really incredible for the couple of days that I was down there. So I hope this story gets to be told in the visual form. We'll see what happens.
So as far as that project goes, is this like a shoot that like once you finish, like you're done, or would there be like a recurring series for it?
The hope is to turn it into a series, yes.
Okay.
And each episode, I want to leave some of the mystery, but each episode would take place in a different state. So we filmed the sizzle in New Orleans, but yeah, hopefully it gets made into the series and then you can all watch it.
That sounds pretty exciting. Well, we'll definitely look out for it. And before we let you go, we just have a few fun questions. We wouldn't be Culturess if we didn't ask a few silly things right near the end for you. So maybe going off of the tangent of this project that you're starting on, could you tell us a favorite show that you're watching right now, and specifically if there's maybe like a superhero or heroine that's a favorite of yours, maybe even someone you'd want to play someday?
Ooh, okay. Well, my favorite show right now it's funny because it's older for most of you probably, but I am almost done binging Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, no, that's a throwback.
I know. It takes me a while, but I eventually make it through these series that everyone raves about. So yes, I'm currently binging Parks and Rec. I'm also a huge Walking Dead fan, which I actually just missed this past season because I've been so busy. So I don't tell me anything.
I won't spoil it for you because we cover it here and I write like the reviews for it. So I won't spoil anything, but you need to get on this last season. It was pretty awesome.
I'm so excited. I think Lauren, who plays Maggie, is just amazing. So she's definitely an inspiration for me. And then the other show that I definitely am an avid fan of would be Game of Thrones.
That's another big show that we cover here. Our Winter is Coming site is huge. If you ever need some spoilers or like some good like Game of Thrones facts, go to Winter is Coming because we cover Game of Thrones extensively. We're big GOT fans here.
Daenerys, like, come on.
Daenerys is the best.
she's everything. So
I mean, if we could also style our hair like her, that'd be pretty awesome too. So
I've done some cosplay as Daenerys. So if anybody wants to check out my Instagram, there are definitely some old pictures of me with a dragon on my shoulder.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for talking with us today at Culturess. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk about HQ and your other projects going on. And from all the fans of HQ here, we're going to keep playing and watch you the next time that you're on.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys talking to me. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Awesome. All right, thanks so much.